guys, KILLAMCKILLCAM here, and I'm back with Killzone Shadowfall Elite Game Mode, Chapter 5, Part 2. And it continued right where I left off, and I'm just making my way through. And like I said in Chapter 5, Part 1, I am not going to do the optional objective. I'm not going to go erase Zeus's name. I'm just going to go right for E. And you see what I do here is I use my owl. I always recommend not using your owl for situations like this when you're facing multiple enemies, because if one of them were to kill me, then my owl would be busy and wouldn't be able to revive me and use one of the adrenalines that I tell everybody to pick up. But I know that they can't come from my left, and they can't come from behind me, and they can't come from my right, and that all of them are going to be going for that alarm right there. And to prevent that alarm from going off, I wanted to be able to shoot anybody that was near it. Don't go in that vet. Just come around here and shoot this camera. I wanted to shoot anybody that went near the alarm and not have to worry about getting shot from the side. So that's why I did that. So here, when you open that door, or not even, you don't even open the door, you just approach the door, and when you do approach the door, 2 enemies are going to be in there. You're going to want to kill them. And the reason why you want to shoot that camera is because if you don't and you go over there, then a sentry turret will pop up and you won't be able to get past it. Suppose if you went back around and went through the vent, maybe. But I think that vent takes you backwards actually. So if that camera spots you, you'd be screwed. So here, you're just gonna make way through this hallway, and you see that little white triangle. That's an adrenaline. If you need an adrenaline, make sure you pick that up. Having 2 adrenalines at all time is gonna save your life. And I always say, you know, don't use your owl. Well, come through here, melee all these guys. It'll be real easy. I always say don't use your owl in the event that you die, so that it will be available to revive you. And I've said, and I think in like Chapter 2 or Chapter 3, you know, and maybe in Chapter 4 and 5, that the 2 times that I died the last time I completed the Like a Boss trophy, I said both times that I died was Chapter 7. Well, after completing Chapter 5, I found out that I wasn't... Watch this. This is funny. Whoop! I didn't die both times in Chapter 7. I need to revise that. I died once in Chapter 6, because after you go through the whole entire Chapter 5, and you find Terran, you fall, and then you get away from that ship shooting at you, and then you're being cattle prodded by Hellgas, a bald Hellgas guy. Well, and then after that cutscene, you wake up in a prison. Well, that was when I died, was because I woke up in that prison and forgot that I did not have my owl, and I died expecting him to revive me, and he did not. And that was the first time that I died. The second time I died was at the very end of Chapter 7, during the wave of enemies at the very, very, very end. And I died while I was in the gunner supposed to be shooting the turrets down. And I died. There was one of those blue armored Hellgas made his way up the steps and was on the platform that you originally had the shootout from, and was shooting me, and I had no idea where those shots were coming from. Over. And when you're in that gunner, your owl won't revive you when you die in there either. So here, when, you know, he's calling for, what's his face, Zeus, and Zeus doesn't respond, well, Zeus died because you didn't go erase his name out of the Hellgas system or some shit. So there you go. That's what happens when you don't erase his name. So this portion of Chapter 5, you know, you can run through pretty quickly. Don't ever try to run and jump. You'll die. You'll fall to your death. And, you know, you see me melee this guy, and it's just because every time I play the campaign, he's such a bitch to get around without melee him, so I just knock him out of my way. And you're not in any danger of any enemies or dying or falling or anything. There's no drones, there's nothing that's going to kill you for quite a while just running through. And while I was running through this chapter 5 and recording it, I was like, man, I was wondering if I could ever do a speed run and set a speed run record for completing Killzone Shadowfall from start to beginning. I bet you I could do pretty well. People would have a hard time beating my record, I know that much. So, I mean, it is easy, kind of easy to get lost going through here. You know, I have before. And you're going to come here and you're going to think this isn't the way, but because there's no steps, but yeah, you just want to drop down there. And then coming up, yeah, see these guys here? What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get your little sniper, your secondary for your original gun, and just blow both of these guys away at once, like that there. And I think you might have to finish that guy off, but he's down and out. So, and then there's going to be 2 more enemies right here, or 1 enemy there, and then 2 at the very end of the hallway. Use your tactical echo, stay back here in cover, and try to either wound them or kill them in cover. I advance and rush up because I know that these 2 guys aren't going to do much damage to me. So this guy, he's going to be coming up the steps. Just wait for him. Don't rush up there. He might get you. So, you know, this chapter 5, you know, it's right when the game starts getting more difficult. You know, it's not too difficult. Like I said before, the most difficult chapters are chapter 7 and chapter 9. So here is an ammo box. Like I said, every time you see an ammo box, you're going to want to pick up an ammo box. And if you need adrenaline, pick up that adrenaline right there. And you got this guy here, and then there's going to be like 8 guys right past him. And so as soon as you come up and melee him, everybody's going to be alerted. There's no getting around these guys. You have to go through them to get to the other side where the elevator is. And I played a very risky game. I threw C4. But then was very disappointed that it didn't blow these guys up, man. The blast radius on C4 is usually pretty big. And I was expecting to kill several of them with that C4. And it just didn't work. And none of them died. And so I very well could have died just then. And I'm going to die coming up. My screen's red. I played it risky. Instead of meleeing that one guy and running straight back to cover, I ran up and tried to C4 him, and it just didn't work out, and I got all fucking clusterfuck. This guy gets me. Because instead of shooting him, I fucking wanted to rush him and melee him. But, you know, I got my owl, I got my true adrenaline, so I'm going to use the adrenaline. There's 1 more adrenaline in the area where all the other enemies are at, so as soon as I get done killing these guys, I know I can go get a 2nd adrenaline. And there you go. What I was talking about before about having 2 assault rifles and having them both reloaded at all times, because when you run out of ammo in one, it's much easier and quicker to switch to your secondary weapon and start shooting than it is to reload. And you will get caught up reloading if you don't have a 2nd assault rifle. And the default weapon is a pistol, and you can set it to a 3-round burst, and it shoots pretty quick, but you're not going to take down 2 or 3 enemies with your pistol before you have to reload it. So I always get rid of the pistol and pick up a 2nd Hellgas assault rifle. It's usually this one here. I like the one with the ACOG on it better, but this is all I had for this chapter. So, you know, I didn't play this one very smart. You know, I played it just like, you know, an average player, and luckily I didn't use up both my adrenalines. But here's the adrenaline if you need it. And then you just go to this elevator. And it's such a long elevator ride, man. They should have shortened up these fucking elevator rides. So, you know, I don't know if you guys, if you're watching this now, if you didn't watch chapter 5, part 1, I still have 3 lives. I make it through this whole entire chapter without dying at all. And this is part 2, and then part 3 will be next, and I made it all the way through there So, what a fucking long ass fucking elevator ride. I don't even know what to talk about in this fucking elevator. I could have commented on a whole nother story and got sidetracked riding in this fucking elevator. So, you know, if you guys have been watching my videos over and over again, you hear me giving the same advice. Always keep 2 assault rifles, always keep 2 adrenaline. Don't jump down right here. Take the steps. You jump down, you're gonna die. So always keep 2 adrenalines, always keep 2 assault rifles, always fight the enemy from a distance. And a couple times in this chapter, I've found that you don't even have to engage all the enemies, and you're gonna see why coming up. In the next portion of this chapter 5, there's going to be several snipers, and basically it's gotten to the point where they know you're coming and they're supposedly waiting on you. Yeah, don't jump there either. Use your zip line. So melee this guy, and basically what's going to happen is you're going to turn left, go through the little Connex box, little house, or where the fuck it is for these people, and one of these guys are going to get spooked, and he's going to alert the Hellgast. And I found that if you just run through it from the left and go all the way around, that you're only going to have to engage 2 out of the 6 enemies that are inside of here. And most of the enemies that are inside of this portion of the chapter are snipers that can teleport, so when you shoot at them, they don't even die anyways. They just teleport. So you got this guy here. I think I have to melee him. He gets away from me. And then all those bullets still. And those stands in the corner. Get melee, bitch. So now you'll see me. I'm just going to run through. I'm not even going to wait on any more enemies. I'm not going to engage anymore. Just the 2 that I see here. And I know, see, he teleports. And this guy's going to teleport. Well, maybe he didn't teleport. But, so I'm just going to book it to the elevator. I know I got people shooting at me, but I'm just going to book it to the elevator. I'm going to open the elevator. I still have people shooting at me. I'm going to get in there, and then I'm going to get to cover. I'm going to use my tactical echo, and I'm going to see where this guy's shooting me from, and I'm just going to pick him off from the elevator. Once you get in the elevator, you're pretty much safe. As long as you stay in cover and use your tactical echo and make sure that you can see all the enemies. And you got this guy here. And even when the other platform and you get out, you're still not safe. You'll see that they're still shooting at me. You can still see the little red lasers, and the music's still going real fast. That means you're still in danger. You're not out of danger until the music stops. So anyways, guys, this is the end of part 2, and I'm about to go commentate over part 3 right now. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already.